You're welcome. And we are live.
Hey everyone, welcome to the gathering.
Paracast.
Oh my, I'm sorry. I was thinking about too many things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Heidi, and welcome as we gather around the metaphysical table and for another fun show tonight.
Yeah.
And
we have a good one tonight. So
we say that for every show.
Well, of course, because they're so good.
They're good.
Come on. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're having fun. So anyway, how have you been?
Good. I was just regaling you and Trost about my adventures this weekend and how I was with Crypt Chicks and we were on a different trail in a different place we'd never been before. The sim crew had been there just for part of this trail and we had seen all these cool things, and so I'm like, oh, we have to come back here. So we were up there and the trail wasn't necessarily long. It was maybe 3 miles, but it was really, the terrain was up and down and up and down. And then it was slippery. So then you have to walk like a duck. Right. And so I thought I was going to die by the next day.
Your quads are screaming.
Yes. And I was just tired.
Quads and glutes.
Tired and didn't feel good. And I thought, oh, I'm getting sick and whatever. But really, I think it was just total exhaustion.
Yeah. Oh, sounds.
I'm an old girl now, whatever. So how about you?
Oh my God, don't say that. Yeah, I'm good. I was not, didn't have that kind of workout this weekend, but yeah, it's been good. And we're gearing up for starting again. Paranormal investigation classes are starting up. So they start Tuesday. So I'm really excited about that because it's going to kick off a fun spring of all sorts of paranormal classes and events and things like that. So,
and I think there's a lot going on paranormally speaking, because I've been seeing a lot of things.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, at home it's been really active.
About that last week. Yeah.
Well, and even today. So I was we're in the My Spirit Experience studios, and I was coming up because I had to go get some water. So it's at the front where the door is. And I was walking back up this way, and I would have put money down that you had gotten let in by someone else, that you didn't buzz in, and that you were coming up behind me.
Oh.
And I turned around because I was going to be like, dude, say something. Don't sneak up on me like that.
And there was nobody
there. I turned
there.
around and there's nobody there. But I would put big money on the fact that someone was standing right behind me coming up like,
well, we know there's spirits here.
Oh yeah, there's lots of them here.
So we've done a seance.
But I was like, dude, step back. Whatever you're doing, knock it off.
It's probably that guy with the overalls on.
No, I don't know. He felt different. This one I haven't felt before. So anyway, so that just happened tonight. Tim had something the other night where he saw someone go through the house a different direction. He came in and he sees me sitting in the living room. He goes, I thought you just went towards the bedrooms. I said, no, I haven't moved. He said, I know. I saw someone.
And I've been seeing that kind of thing too. Right.
So,
and it's like,
yeah,
you think somebody's there and they're not. And it's like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah. So there's a lot going on. So I'm excited to get into the classes again because everybody that comes to these classes, they have some kind of stories.
Oh yeah.
Or they want an experience. And where we're going to be on Tuesday is an awesome building. It's in Anoka.
Anoka.
It has lots of paranormal activity there. But so if they come wanting an experience, they're probably going to get one in that class, which is fantastic. So
for sure,
I'm excited about that.
Well, tonight we're going to talk about tarot cards. Heidi's going to teach us how to work them, maybe just a little bit. But first I want to do our oracle cards because we got to do our 1 card pull for everybody out there. So when we do our tarot decks, it'll be for you, it'll be for me. And then if you're at home and you get out your tarot deck, just follow along and use yours.
Yeah, it'll be a real easy tutorial. But yes, first we're going to pull our 1 card draw, as we like to do now that we have the video going. So this week I'm going to use a Moonology Messages Oracle deck. And the reason I'm pulling this deck is because we had this amazing full moon.
Oh, she was beautiful.
Really good. It was awesome. So I thought, I'll use a moon deck tonight. And I have not worked with this deck yet, so I can't speak into it at all. But anyway, it's called Moonology Messages Oracle. And I have a different Moonology deck too that I've used in the past, but it's been a long time since I've used that one. So anyway, I thought, let's bust out the Moonology deck and see what we have for everybody who's tuning in for this show, whether you're listening to us live or you're listening to us later. Whenever you're supposed to hear this is when you're supposed to hear it.
Absolutely.
So
all right,
you just let me know when you want me to stop shuffling.
I think right now.
Okay. So top of the deck, here we go. And I'll describe this for people who are listening through audio only. So this says, reach for the moon, go for it. And it has it looks like a woman reaching up towards the moon. I'll show this on the video here in a second. Reaching up towards a couple of styles of moon. There's a full moon. There's maybe it's a sun behind the moon, but then there's a crescent moon above it. There's a body of water with a landmass behind, like a mountain. There's a woman standing up right in the middle. And she's reaching for this full moon. And so again, it says, reach for the moon, go for it. Here, I'll let you hold that.
Okay.
So I'm going to read what this says. So this is what we're supposed to hear right now.
I love this card.
How do I find? Know. Here's my general complaint for some decks.
They don't have that. They're not numbered.
They're not numbered. And then I don't know if this doesn't look like, is it in alphabetical order?
Oh, here it is.
And I know I got it. But okay. I mean, there's all sorts of, maybe it's in alphabetical order.
Sometimes they are.
I'll stop complaining. Here we go. So this one, here's what it says. If you were hoping that the cards would conform, that you would get what you want, you're in luck. This card comes with a message. Go for it. In other words, it's all there for you to win. If you've been doubting yourself or questioning your ability to achieve a goal or to make something work, this card reminds you that you're magical and amazing and you should rise to the challenge. Go forward with the positive expectation that everything can work out exactly as you'd like. The road ahead might stretch you a little, and you may have to call on resources that you didn't know you had. So try not to become upset or even resentful if things don't unfold exactly the way you want. There's a reason why it's all developing the way it is, and part of that reason could well be because it's helping you grow as a person, possibly on a spiritual level, but one thing is certain, go for it.
Very cool.
So that's kind of a good card for the new year too. A good January card. Let's go for it.
It fits right in.
Although it's not saying, it's telling you, it's basically saying you got to do the work.
Oh, absolutely.
Is what that says too.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So go for it. And you have to work, but you'll achieve your goal. The end result will be fabulous.
Oh, and they're saying that the symbol is kind of a reference to the sky's the limit.
Oh, sure.
Is kind of that description. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
And success is within your grasp. Challenges can be character building. Who needs more character?
Right.
Do you?
No. Well, I definitely don't.
Okay. No. Maybe we could use some more character. Who knows?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah. And then believing in the impossible makes it possible. Well, that's good. I think that's not too shabby. We'll take that for a new year card, January card, right?
Absolutely. That's a good one.
All right.
We'll just put this on the top of this one.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
We'll get that out of here. Move that stuff. Okay, cool. So we're going to do a little work with the tarot deck. And so I work with the tarot all the time. I do tarot card readings. I have a monthly Mystic subscription that people can buy. And so people they sign up. It goes for 3 months at a time, and they can get an personalized emailed tarot reading sent to them every month or for 3 months, and then they can sign up again. So I love doing tarot. I love doing readings. I love teaching people about tarot. And the thing is with tarot is that it's nothing to be afraid of if you want to look at it as just helping you assess where you're at in life. It's not, you don't have to look at it as a divination tool from, an outside source, that you feel like, this could be dangerous or dabbling or whatever. you could use it as your own mindfulness to look at, pull some cards and just see, okay, where am I at with my life? How does this fit? What does this make me think about? If I'm going to be honest with myself, does this resonate? Where do I need to go from here? So if you do want to look at it as being assisted from the divine with it, that's certainly an option as well. So you have some play with this, right? So I love tarot. I love tarot decks. There's so many amazing tarot decks out there. If I could buy all the tarot decks that I love, I would have billions of tarot decks and no money.
Have enough.
I would have. Is it enough? I was counting. I have at least 75 decks over.
You have a lot.
Right over there. I have at least 75 decks here. And I probably have another 25 decks at home.
My gosh.
Which there's so many more I would love to have. Someday I will have more, but I don't have any. But there's amazing decks that I do have right now. And the interesting thing when I teach tarot is the one thing that I always hear is that it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my gosh, 78 cards, minimum 78 cards. Some tarot decks now.
A lot more than that.
I have a deck that I'll pull out someday when we're doing other tarot stuff. It has like 108 cards or something like that. It's wild. So I want to let you know that just don't worry about it. Don't worry about how many cards. Don't worry about the book that comes with the cards. Every deck usually has a book that you can, get information from. If you want to use the deck, use the deck. If you don't want to use the deck, don't use the deck. If you don't, just like relax. Okay. That's the thing I can tell you about.
And don't
tarot.
be scared of it. So many people are afraid of tarot decks. And I don't know why. I know why. Because of the death card. Oh my God, you're going to pull a death card and then you're going to die. It doesn't mean that at all.
No.
It doesn't mean that at all.
Oops.
Sorry. We're not seeing our comments.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, look at them all.
There's a ton of comments.
Holy
Sorry, you guys.
crap.
I had the wrong. Okay. So we've got a whole bunch of people in the chat room. Thank you.
So hello,
joining us.
everyone. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like we have all. Cryptovania is here calling, which is Jerry. I can tell that's Jerry.
Yeah.
King Sisters Paranormal. Hello.
Yeah.
So, and Cryptovania TV, they're asking what are some of those amazing decks. Okay. So, well, I can't list all the ones that I want, but we'll definitely talk about them.
I only have one.
Stephanie has one.
I like the Oracle decks. So I don't know how to use a tarot deck. I'm just being honest. I have just pulled a card a time or two, but this one is one that Jerry gifted me actually. And it's the Guardian of the Night Tarot.
And this is the same beautiful author of the deck that I was using last week.
Yeah. And so it's got an owl, probably because owls are one of my power animal. It's gorgeous. The imagery is just plain gorgeous.
And the book is good
in
too.
Here. Yes.
So you're using the Guardian of the Night Tarot by MJ Cullinan, which I'm not sure if I'm saying her name correctly.
I think you are, because Cullen, I think that's right. And she's the one that did the crow one that we did last week.
Yeah. I love her decks. So that's what Stephanie's working with. I am working with a deck that I used last year for my monthly mystic because I change the deck every season. And I can't remember if I use this for summer or spring. Anyway, it's called the Good Tarot and it's by Colette Baron Reed. And it is a really gentle, loving divination and archetype focused book, which deck, which I'm really digging, and it's inclusive. I'm all about inclusive decks. If it's not inclusive, I'd prefer not to work with it. But anyway, this is definitely a good deck, a good inclusive deck. So this is the one I'm working with tonight. So when you're working with tarot, don't worry about it. Don't fear it. In all aspects, like certain cards that are in it, don't worry about it. 78 cards, don't worry about it. The meanings of all the cards, don't worry about it. Just relax, take a deep breath, and know that whatever it's supposed to be it's gonna be. Okay. So when you get your deck, first thing you want to do is sit with it. Now, whether you shuffle or you just kind of go through each card and look at them, it's good. Just get to know the energy of the deck. I typically open them right away and start looking through them. Whether I work with them or not may not be the case because maybe I'm just not ready to work with it. I can't feel the energy right now, but most decks I'm ready to tear right into them.
Yep.
But when, especially this time of year, people are looking for readings. I get a lot of
Because it's the new year.
emails, and I
Yep.
want to do an email reading. I want to do virtual readings. I do virtual readings or in-person readings because yes, the new year. Let's find out what's coming. Okay.
Yes.
So if someone wants to do their own, that's great too. So you can grab a deck of tarot cards, whatever resonates with you. You can go and find them at a store or order them online or whatever. I would be mindful. We talked about this last week. If you're going to order a deck online or at a store, just make sure it's not a knockoff.
Yes.
Look for the proper packaging. Like you and I both have a decent box that it comes in.
Oh yeah, the box is as beautiful.
It's a
as the
substantial
cards.
box. Usually, if it's a knockoff deck, it's one of those flimsy cardboard.
Nothing.
You know that like
Yes.
playing cards come in, little cheap. That's not a good sign if
No.
it's something like that.
No.
So a substantial box that comes with a decent sized book is usually a good sign that you're not getting a knockoff.
Right.
Or go straight to, if you found it on Amazon, go straight to the creator's website.
Yep.
Even if you want to order on Amazon,
Make
they
sure
should
that
get
they
cut.
sell on
Look and
Amazon.
see if it's the same. If it looks the same on Amazon as it does on their site, then at least you know you're getting the proper one.
Right.
So doing a year ahead reading, I know Steph goes, we're not doing any 10 card spread.
No.
I said, no, we don't have to do a 10 card spread to do a year ahead reading.
Right.
The biggest thing that you want to do, and I'm going to move my microphone, so hopefully you guys can still hear me okay, because I want to have some room here.
Okay.
The biggest thing is to set your intention ahead of time, however many cards you're going to pull, and the length of time that you want it to cover. So that you want to set that intention ahead of time. Because if you just throw out a few cards and then you go, oh, this is going to be for a year, and then you've already pulled the cards, it just, you want to have that intention set ahead of time.
Right.
So if you want to pull, let's say I was thinking 3 cards would be good for, if we're doing a year ahead, I would say 3 cards minimum for a full year.
Okay.
If I'm doing, because we've talked about pulling 1 card a day.
Yep.
You know, if you want to learn the cards, it's a great way to do it. And 1 card a day is good for, you know, there's
That
a lot
day.
you can cover in that day. So if you're doing a whole year, these are going to be very overarching cards if you're only using 3, right? Because 3 cards for a whole year absolutely can be done. And it may give you just a general overview of maybe some flowing of this year, which is fine too if you're learning, because you only have to worry about 3 cards. You don't have to keep a lot in your head. It's all good.
Yeah, that's good.
So I would say 3, but I wouldn't go less. I mean, if you want 1 card to define your whole year, that's kind of a
holy cow.
That's a lot of work
I
for
don't think
1
that's
card.
enough.
I don't know if I would do that.
Well, and so then if you do 3 cards and you think it's going to be for the whole year, then you can do other spreads whenever you want
to narrow it down.
Maybe like this is for this week, or this is for the next 2 days or whatever, you know, if something important's coming up or whatever.
Yep. You can kind of dial it in a little bit, get some more clarity. So, but if you, because there's a year ahead reading that I do, and there's 1 card in the middle that's the overarching card for the whole year. And then there's a card for each Celtic festival throughout the year. So there's 8 more cards that kind of stretch into each season. And so when I do a year ahead reading, that's how I do. I have 1 overarching card, but then there's other partner cards throughout the year. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. You can do 3 cards, and that'll be your overarching. And then if you want to dial it in as you go, you can do a smaller, more intimate reading for like this month, next month, or whatever. So, all right. So you've got your cards shuffled. Okay.
And notice how thick these are. I can't even shuffle them really like this. I tried before the show. I was like, how do I do this? You know?
Stephanie's got little hands.
I do have little hands. So we're just going to do this. But the thing is, it's so thick too. It's not just the size.
Yeah. Some of the decks are monsters.
You know, All right.
I could shuffle these, but I won't, because it'll cause a ruckus.
Yeah.
It'll be loud. So I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
So we've got our cards shuffled, and we're going to set the intention, like we said. This is going to be 3 cards, and it's going to be overarching for a year. Now, you can also decide, am I going to use my book? Am I just going to use what comes to me intuitively? Am I just going to use the pictures? Like, you can decide how you want to do it. And with that, you can always change your mind. So if you lay them out and you go, I said I wasn't going to use the book, but now I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to use the book. Then
Yeah.
go ahead, use the
There's
book.
no right or wrong way.
There's a reason the book is there.
Mhm.
And frankly, I love reading what the author has to say.
Yes.
Because sometimes
I
the
do
author
too.
and the
I do
artist is
too.
not the same for
No.
each deck. So I love to hear what this person is interpreting
Mhm.
for the cards. I want to hear their story that they put with it. So I think it's fine to read the book. What I find is helpful, and I tell everybody this with when they do the class, I don't have a deck here so some of the decks, if you're new to tarot and you want to learn tarot, you really want to know what the cards mean. Make sure that when you buy a deck that the minor suit cards have an image on them that isn't just 6 cups, 9 swords, 2 wands, that it actually has some kind of picture that's happening.
Yeah.
Because that'll help you learn the cards a little better.
Yeah.
Instead of just 6 cups. I mean, what does 6 cups mean? Well, if you see 6 cups and there's an image of, whatever's happening for that artist is saying with the 6 cups, then that'll help stick in your mind better with, oh, this is what it feels like it means, or I looked in the book, this is what they say it means, that kind of thing. So, so you can decide how you want to get your information from the cards. So I like to just sit for a second holding the cards and just, again, setting my intention that we're looking at a year ahead. We're going to draw 3 cards.
Okay.
And you sit with the energy, and when you're ready, after you've shuffled, and then you just lay them out from the top.
Oh, from the top. Okay.
Well, it's however you want to do it, but
Oh,
that's easiest. I
Okay.
would do just
Okay.
3 off the top. Let's see. Okay. I always lay them face down to start. And then when I'm ready, so you can decide, do you want to do the first one and flip it and just leave this one? Or do you want to flip them all at the same time? Typically, I flip them all at the same time. So I look at all of them. So you can flip whenever you're ready.
Okay. Oh, man. Pentacles, all 3.
Okay. So here's something that you want to maybe think about for just knowledge of the tarot deck is there's 4 suits, just like a playing deck of cards. So you have the Pentacles, which is the earth energy. It's also the slowest moving of the energies. Okay. So typically the more Pentacles you see, it might be just not a fast pace, or it could mean that you're just a bit more grounded or maybe focused on tangibles instead of maybe other things, which can be all good. So, there's someone that's making a really long comment, and I'm okay.
Oh, my.
I think it's just a general
Yeah,
comment that we'll
yeah.
save. It's not
We'll
around
save it
tarot.
for the-
okay,
for the-
just making sure. Okay,
So Pentacles are more of the earth.
earth
suit.
energy. It's
Earth
the
energy
slower
suit.
moving,
Okay.
much more like step by step. Very present in this environment. We also have the next fastest from Earth would be water, so it's a little faster moving. It's the water element, so it's much more emotional, spiritual, intuitive. Those kind of energies.
Yeah.
Then we move a little faster. We get fire, which is wands.
Yep.
So the Pentacles is earth, water is cups.
Yep.
Typically, wands, fire, and so that's again much more of the creative energy, projects, work, transformations, a lot of dynamic activity, right? And then the fastest moving would be air. And that's usually shown in swords, which can deal with the thinking through things through your mind, having clarity or confusion, working out problems, finding solutions, strategies, things like that. It goes a lot deeper than that, but just for your own knowledge.
Yeah.
So you have 3 Pentacles, which already when I look at that, I feel everything slowing down a little bit, which can be a good thing. Let's slow this year down.
That would
Take
be
it step
good.
by step, right?
Yeah.
So already just in this general flipping over and looking at all of them, you're getting some information. I have, and your cards, they're all animals, which are lovely. So we want to just kind of describe for folks that, can't see
Yeah.
them.
So I have the Four of Pentacles, which shows a fox with the rabbits underneath and a moon, quarter moon hanging in the. I don't know
Very
if you
cool
can see
card.
that. It's a beautiful card.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the Three of Pentacles, which shows I don't know if that's a elk or a deer,
Yeah.
but it has wolves in there too. 3 wolves and an elk or a deer is in the center.
Mm-hmm.
It's another beautiful card. And then I have the Two of Pentacles, which shows 2, looks like
What is it?
dolphins
Dolphins?
to me,
Mhm.
and the moon, right? So
they're
that
kinda
is
swimming
just
around it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Lovely.
are beautiful cards.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And so I flipped mine over, and I have now mine instead of the pentacles and the actual talismans for each deck. Mine just talks about the element.
Okay.
So you have the Four of Pentacles. I have the Four of Earth as my first card.
Oh, there we go.
Which is interesting because it's the same card.
Yes,
It is the same card.
it is.
And mine shows a fairy that has almost like antlers,
Mm-hmm.
or it almost looks like the roots on your card.
It does.
Right?
It
like
does.
these roots coming out of her head.
Yeah.
And she has the Four Pentacles in there. So that's the
interesting
first
that we
one.
both pulled the four.
Yeah,
of
we
the
have the
same.
four.
Yeah,
Maybe that's showing the connection with the show.
maybe.
And then my second card is the Six of Air, which shows a boat in the water, like a old time sailboat, or like a
Oh, and they go fast.
what kind of boat is that? Like a pirate ship? But
Yeah,
not.
it does. It's like a cutter. I think they used to call them
Is
a
that what
cutter.
that is?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
So then this would translate to swords.
Yep, Six of Swords.
Okay.
So, and then my third card is the Seven of Water, which would be
is
Seven of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows like a fairy again. She looks like she's underwater and sitting in like a sea life, like she's sitting in the inside of a plant, like a flower.
So do we think that fairies in water in the sea is like mermaids? But she doesn't look like a
she has
mermaid, does
she has legs.
Oh, she does have legs. Okay.
I don't know. Is it a sylph or
I don't
something?
know.
I don't know.
I can't tell.
Don't quote me on that.
I don't know.
Okay. So anyway, so Six of Water or Seven of Water is
Mhm.
Seven of Cups. So again, I have a mix of 3. And so when I see different suits together, I think there might be a lot going on, a lot of, different directions, a lot of different speeds with different things that I'd be working on. So already I'm getting some information like, hey, there might be a lot going on. Certain things will be running at a slower speed. Other things will be running at a faster speed. I'm going to have a lot on my plate. Not unusual. I kind of want Stephanie's reading,
Mhm.
a little bit slow journeying. So what you can do if you don't want to use the book,
Mhm.
and you can totally use the book, but if you don't want to use the book, is just look at the pictures and what do the pictures tell you? And that's what I was saying in the beginning about the suits, which we have only suit cards here, which is fine. They're minor arcana cards, but they all have an image that gives us some kind of feeling or tells us a little bit of a story. So you can use this along with your intuition to kind of get some information that way.
Mhm.
If you are like, hey, I'm just going to see what happens.
Mhm.
If you want to use the book, you certainly can. But looking at the numbers too that we have, like this Four of Earth, because we both have that one first, there's a lot of stability in the number 4. And when you look at, especially yours, it has these coins or these pentacles down below the earth. So they're being tucked away.
Yep.
For safekeeping, right?
Yeah.
And so there's this idea of maybe saving or being not frugal, but just being mindful of, if pentacles could represent finances or money or health, tangibles. So thinking about kind of tucking everything away and keeping it safe. So being mindful of finances, maybe not do a lot of big, crazy spending this year, or, because we're looking out through the year. And so just being like, I'm not going to worry about any big expenses. I'm going to be mindful of not expending myself too much, so that health wise, I have a lot of reserves in the bank. Thinking about things like that.
That's for me. That's probably more what it is.
Right. So then you look at that and say, okay, well then, how does that speak to me? Oh, that resonates. Okay. Being mindful about my health, not expending myself so that I burn everything out. Okay. That feels good for this year. Right.
Yep.
Good. So then you'd look at the next card and you have the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles, your Three of Pentacles is opposite of your Four of Pentacles in the way that your 4 coins or pentacles are tucked below
this
the
one's
earth.
up in the sky.
Yeah, and now your 3 pentacles are up in the antlers, right? They're held up above.
They are, yeah.
And so they're very visible, right? So you're looking at this card and going, okay, I can see them. They're out in the where everybody can see them. And there's other creatures that are looking at them as well.
Yeah, the wolves.
So to me, that would say, okay, so other people are involved with how I spend my maybe time, who I spend my time with, who I invite in to whatever I'm working on. So much more of maybe like community coming together, doing some work together. So that could be, you know, something that you also think about for the year ahead, bringing community, you know, your community together.
Yeah, my tribe.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to give a shot at your 2 of Pentacles? If you're doing kind of in the same vein.
Yeah, well, I don't really know.
Okay, well,
Because it's interesting. I mean, it shows other dolphins in the water, and then it shows these 2 up above. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, so there's a lot of symmetry in this image, right? But if you look at how, so there's 2 dolphins and they're going around some kind of sun.
I think it's the moon.
Or moon. Yeah, some kind of orb in the sky, right? So these dolphins are up and they're going around this orb. And there's symmetry, but then they're not balanced. So they're off.
Yeah, they're off center.
They're not kind of straight up and down. They're not straight, you know, left to right. So there's a little bit of a shift there in balance. And so 2s typically are asking you to maybe make a decision, maybe call in, you know, because you're getting some kind of inspiration with the ace. So now we get the 2 and we're like, okay, I'm feeling like I need to do something with this. What do I need to do? So making some kind of decision is pretty common when you get a 2. So maybe making decisions around some, you know, finances or health, wellness. And again, we're moving slow with this stuff. Pentacles. It's
really a lot of time. Well, it's a whole year.
Right. So these are things you can think of throughout the year.
For
as you're
sure.
going forward.
For sure. And what I think is interesting, so I haven't read because there's like a big description, but it talks about the animals that they chose for this. And like, so they're talking about dolphins and they're talking about play, swimming through life, enthusiasm. And the wolves and the deer, which was my second card, wolves signify family, reliance, hope, teamwork, confidence. Deer are intuitive, confidence, protection. A lot of confidence going on in that one. And then in the 4,
but they mentioned the teamwork too.
The teamwork,
and that's that bringing, you know, people
together. Yep. And then the 4 of Pentacles had sorry. Oh goodness, what's going on? So it had rabbits, which of course we know means abundance, reproduction, open, creativity, luck, and the fox, of course, is cleverness, spry, magical, and shapeshifting. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, these cards are pretty cool for me
it is. Those are very cool cards. And but you can see too where your interpretation and or the book. So the book is saying something a little different with some of them. Now we didn't read the whole thing, so there might be some similarities to what I was just getting from basic knowledge of the 4s and the whatevers. But so you can look at that and go, okay, this is what I'm feeling for this card. And that makes sense. So if you don't want to use the book, you don't have to.
Right. You don't have to.
It just makes it easy. You know, to just go, oh, this is what I feel for this one. And, you know, I'm looking at mine and I've got the 6 of air, which is that like mental, you know, processing, thinking. And 6 is usually some kind of movement forward. You know, not all the time. I mean, most of the time, you know, we've got decisions that need to be made. Now that we've shifted after the 5 is usually some transitions. So 6 is saying, okay, time to move forward slowly but surely. The 6 of air is typically a card that's like, you know, careful navigation. You'll get to wherever you need to go.
Right.
But you have to think, you know, things through. Don't be hasty, just careful navigation. And then I've got the 7 of water, and that one is typically choices. And you can see in this one where it's like this fairy, underwater fairy thing. And she's got all these different seashells above her.
Yeah.
And fish. And she's looking at them like, ooh, which one do I choose?
Which one? Exactly. Which one do I
choose?
have? Yeah.
Yeah. So that is, saying that there's going to be choices. And again, it's that, not being hasty with decisions. What is for my highest good? And you really want to think about that kind of stuff when you're doing a tarot. It's like, well, this is for my highest good. If I'm asking these questions or I'm looking for guidance, do I want the universe to tell me what I want to hear? I suppose. Who doesn't? Right?
Well, yeah, but
it's
not going to help you if that's what it is.
It's not always going to help. So sometimes I have to just what's for my highest good. And I look at something and I'm like, oh, I know what I have to do. I don't know if I really am.
Don't want to do it though.
But ultimately in the long run, it'll be for my highest good. So just let the cards kind of tell you their story is the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
And I know if you go easy for you because you've done it. How do you think I learned it? That's how I learned it, is just let the cards tell me the story. And it's really interesting to do it that way because they will speak to you through their images. You'll get just ideas of your own. I don't know why I'm looking at this card and feeling this, but this is the way it is. This is what I'm getting. Then that's what it's supposed to be. So I think it's fun and it's an easy way to just go you're ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And and if you do this, like when you're by yourself and you have some time to think about this, it's difficult when you're like for us right now, because we have an audience, because we're thinking about a million other things. But when it's just you, think about this. Like, I'm going to probably go home. I'm going to keep these cards on top so I can go home and really think about them in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Take a picture of them and then you can go home and flip through and it's fun too, to maybe have a little journal.
Yes.
So you can, just journal what you're thinking about each one. It doesn't even have to be what's in the book. It's just, this is how I feel with this card. This card makes me feel like this. I
love all these cards, to be honest, because they're so a part of me, every single one of them. The animals.
Yep. Yeah, those are good cards.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all the cards are good, even the scary ones.
Absolutely.
Which they're not scary, but some people don't like certain cards. But we can do other shows where we get more into specific cards and talk about them, because I think that's helpful too.
I do too.
We have a lot of people in the chat room. I just want to say hi and make sure that we're catching up. So Paula joined us. Jessica joined us. Thank you for joining in the chat room. I think KZ Bay, is that what it says? KZ Bay. I thought it said KZ Boy. I'm like, no, I think it's KZ Bay. Okay. Welcome everybody for joining us. So anyway, I think this time of year is really fun to do just a year ahead, little simple 3-card reading. Yeah, it's perfect. And then as you go, if you want to do 1 card for the week or the month or the day, or 2 or 3 cards, you don't have to. When I do a tarot reading for someone, I'm usually doing 10 card. And that's fine because I'm getting paid to do it. And so I want to give full in-depth reading. But if you're just, if I'm doing a reading for myself, I probably wouldn't do a 10-card reading.
10 cards is kind of a lot. I know we did 5-card readings at the cabin this weekend because Josie does tarot cards. And even that takes a while. You know what I mean? So 10 cards.
Well, I've done 10-card readings in like 10 minutes. So you can do it, but you can get as much or as little information out of them as you want. But I think a 3-card reading is nice.
Really good
for just some basic information, kind of an overarching, look at the theme or the vibe for the year. Is kind of a fun way to do it.
I like it.
So
absolutely.
Cryptovania, they're saying a scary tarot card episode would be awesome. Well, yeah, we should definitely do it.
Well, we should do that maybe closer to Halloween. Do. With a Halloween deck. We could do it anytime, I guess. But
we can always revisit.
We can.
I could just get out. I have some creepy tarot decks that would be great for a tarot show around Halloween. We could save the
creepy
cards.
Ones for then.
Yeah, we'll just do scary cards at some other point, and then I'll just bust out one of my really disturbing decks.
Yeah, really disturbing decks.
Halloween. Yeah. I actually have a couple. Cool. I have a oracle deck that I've done readings with it before and told everybody in the beginning, don't worry. We're just doing this for fun. And then I do the reading and they're like, are you sure that's for fun? That's really disturbing. And I'm like, yep, don't worry. It's fine. Some of it's like
My
super
goodness.
not disturbing, like, but you don't want that stuff to happen.
No.
It's the we'll get, as I'm getting excited now, I'm knocking stuff over. We'll maybe bust
Pretty
that
soon
one
the
out.
bracelets are gonna fly across the
I
table.
know. Yeah. So we'll maybe do that as we get closer to
Yeah.
Halloween. We'll bust out some of my disturbing decks.
For sure. Yeah,
I
no.
feel like I'm getting too excited about that. Just bear with me, everyone.
Yeah, no. I think this has been great. This has been awesome.
But it's just easy, 3-card, year
Yeah.
ahead. Don't make it anything big. Just put the cards out and let them talk to you, and they will.
Mhm.
It's great.
Maybe do a showcase of your dolls. Those dolls are scary.
Oh, we could. I could have them all staring at Stephanie
No.
and bring them in and have them just all
No.
standing around Stephanie.
God, I remember when was it last year we did the seance with Wendy Webb and you had that icky little one in the middle of the table and I thought I was going to die, but I managed.
Yeah. But if I had 20 of them around.
Oh, yeah. No.
I'm in my happy place. Not trying to
Oh.
scare you, just thinking of like creepy dolls in general. If anyone has a creepy doll that's disturbing them, you can send it to me. People send me Ouija boards. You can send me your creepy dolls and I will take good care of it. I will close it and then I will take good care of it.
I sent her a box once that had an attachment.
That was
Scary.
He was aggressive.
He was icky.
He was aggressive.
And I got it out of my house same day. I said, Heidi, sending you something. Okay. You got it like in a day or something, didn't you?
I've never
Because I
had
just
mail
mailed
that
it.
came that
I didn't
fast.
want it anywhere near my house.
Yeah. I've never gotten mail that fast. Ever. I couldn't believe how fast it came. But I still have it.
You do? I
Mhm.
know. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we get some crazy things for sure. So
But anywho, yeah, so this was our little intro to tarot. Just give you, a little 3-card reading for the year ahead.
Yeah.
Easy. And don't worry if you get something
don't
you
overthink it either. I don't
Yeah.
think.
If you think, oh my God, because you mentioned the death card. People go, oh my God, I don't want the death card. Okay,
No.
death just means change.
Yes, that's exactly what it means.
It's just that there's going to be change this year.
Yep.
Ideally, you make the change.
Yes.
This is fair
Yes.
warning.
Mm-hmm.
The universe is saying, here's the death card because you know that there's changes that need to be made. They're giving you fair warning to make them through your decisions instead of letting the universe decide what those changes are going to be because you didn't. You waited.
Mm-hmm.
And then the universe is like, well, something has to change. So we're just going to do it. And it ends up being harder and messier. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make the choices so that the universe doesn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So Ouija boards.
Okay, Paul in the chat room.
I don't touch them
asking-
with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
They're portals. I mean, I shouldn't say that. If you know how to close them, if you know how to use them, I think you're okay. But I think the problem is they fall into the wrong hands and bad things can happen. End of story.
Okay. So
You know this. I know this.
I think, yeah, that's true. But I don't think there's a problem with Ouija boards. I think it's just people are inexperienced that use them.
Well, they're marketed as a toy.
Right. Which is.
And
part of
they're
the
not a
problem.
toy.
It's part of
Yeah.
the problem.
It's a
So-
divination tool.
It is. And with the way people see the movies and stuff, they
Yeah.
messed it all up. So
Mhm.
I don't think the Ouija boards are a problem. I like Ouija boards. I think there's a lot of beautiful Ouija boards out there. I make Ouija boards as well. But I don't actually use them for divination because they're easier. Like this
Yes.
is way easier
Oh, yeah.
for divination than using a Ouija board.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if you don't know what you're doing
oh,
with a Ouija board, because
Oh.
you're actually trying to call on someone to communicate with you,
Mhm.
this we're just gathering information.
absolutely. Yep.
Through the cards. These are cards that we shuffle, we
Mhm.
lay them out. Ouija board, they're, it's like we're calling something in to
We are.
communicate and you don't know
Yep.
what you're getting. So I think it's just a
Yeah.
crude tool.
It is. Yeah, it's very
I
crude.
think I think they can be beautiful. Not
They
that
can
just
be.
the regular mass marketed Ouija boards,
Yeah.
but they're really a neat thing, but I
Mhm.
don't use them because I think there's easier things to use.
Mhm.
But I end up closing a lot of them because
Mhm.
people get themselves into trouble.
Absolutely. All the
I
time.
probably get at least five boards sent to me a month
Oh, jeez.
that people have in their house, or they find and they're like, hey, can I mail it to you? Because I just moved into this house and found it stuffed in the attic. or I'm cleaning out grandma's house and she had one in her
Oh
attic
yeah.
or the closet or whatever.
Yep.
So people find them and they're like, I don't even know what this one is for, but I don't want it. Will you take it? I'm like, yeah, just send it to me. So
What happened to my mom's Ouija board? Honestly, must be in that house somewhere.
I think everybody's used one.
Well, my mom, yeah, me and my mom and my aunt Dorothy used to use them all the time.
Yeah, my mom said that she used them when she was.
And I mean, they had quite success because they had all the abilities. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Nothing. I mean, it's not every time you use one something bad happens.
No.
Kind of luck of the draw.
But a lot of times, as paranormal investigators, we get called into places, and it's because somebody's been using a Ouija board and they've opened up something that they don't know how to close and they don't know how to control.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So we just had Teresa join us. Hi, Teresa. Welcome. And then Cryptovania TV, they're saying 5 per month. Crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Every
do.
once in a while, I walk in the door and there's a box sitting there, and I'm like, is
sitting
this
over
a
the
Ouija
front
board?
I don't know how they get to my front door because we have a mailroom now. And all the boxes go into the mailroom. And so I don't know.
Scary.
We shouldn't have, no one special delivers anything to doors here.
No. So how does it get there?
Because it wasn't UPS. It's all USPS. They just jump them in the mailroom. So I don't know how stuff gets up to my door here, which is weird. But yeah, I probably get 5 a month that I close.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I like it. It's fun. I usually post a picture online when I'm doing them. I have them all laid out. And then I'll take a picture of us. Tim will help me and we'll close them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And some of them are mean.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them are ishy.
Ishy, slimy.
And I am like, oh my gosh.
We've all dealt with that
What
kind
did
of
you
stuff.
do?
Oh my God.
do to this thing?
Oh, ish.
And
yes.
some of them are just normal, but people didn't want to deal with it. And I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what you're doing, have someone else do it.
That's, yes, absolutely right.
So,
absolutely right. Don't get in trouble.
We have gone from tarot to Ouija.
Oh, I know.
Which is totally fine.
Maybe we'll have to revisit that maybe on the next paranormal smorgasbord. How about that?
Yeah.
That would be good.
So one other question from Paula. She said, do you believe in psychics? I am one. So I will say yes. I do this for a living. So I will say double yes. Yes, I am. And yes, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
But I know not everybody does. And that's cool. Like that. I get that.
Yeah.
So
cool.
We didn't want to make this tough. Easy 3-card spread.
Yes.
You can do this for any length of time you want. This could be for a week, could be a month, a year, a day, whatever.
Yeah.
Little 3. If you want to do a day, let me just say this. If you want to do a little, maybe like over the next 2 months, I'm going to do a little 3-card spread. You could even do like past, present, future.
Oh, yes.
If you want to label and get specific. So I'm doing just a general reading for right now, past, present, future. So where I came from, where I'm at now, where I'm headed. And it doesn't have to be set in stone because free will, you can make changes.
And that's what you do every day? That's what you do every day? No, that's what you're telling people to do.
They could do
okay.
that.
Okay.
If you want to mix up the 3-card spread, you can do that. But this could be perfect for a year ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So hopefully that was helpful for you all.
Yeah. Well, I thought this was very fun. It was very interesting.
I always think it's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Now, next week, Heidi, tell everybody who we have a guest coming, and we're really excited about her. So it's going to be really fun.
So we have Ruby Falconer joining us. She is a shamanic Egyptian astrologer. She has been doing astrology for over 30 years. I'll say over 30 years, but I think it's more than that. But I didn't look at my notes ahead of time. So she will be joining us next week. And I've been following her on Facebook. Well, I've known her for a long time. She has done a shamanic Egyptian astrology birth chart for me. She did one like 15 years ago for me. It was fantastic. It was interesting. The whole shamanic Egyptian bend to it is really interesting. She's very good at describing what all of that means. But I saw a post of hers at the beginning of the year or right before the beginning of the year. And she went into, which we're always looking for, high points with different planetary shifts throughout the year and what that means. Yeah. And she just rattled it off right on. And I was like, okay, that's super helpful. She needs to be on our show. Yeah. Because this would be really interesting for people to hear little, these high points throughout the year with these planetary shifts and things like that. So, speaking of, we have a planetary alignment right now. Did you know that?
I did know
Planet
that.
Parade is
I did know that. So all the planets in our solar system are
almost.
They're not
6.
all? Yeah.
And then 7 is coming. There's another one
but
coming.
at some point, all of them will be lined up, right?
Well, we have more than 7 planets.
I know we have 9.
Well, if
Yeah.
you count Pluto. But
Yeah.
anyway, so we do have 6 aligned right now.
Hmm.
And I think, what is you look in the southwest sky?
You're supposed to be able to see them, right?
You should be able to see most of them. You can't see them all with the naked eye, but with a telescope, you can see all of them. But you'll be able to see most of them.
Yeah.
Like Venus and Mars.
It's exciting.
And Jupiter, you can see.
Well, and there's a comet coming too. I heard too. Like this week, you should be able to see it.
I don't know. I didn't see that. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so next week, Ruby Falconer, she's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
She's going to be joining us and doing some shamanic Egyptian astrology for 2025 and also
Mhm.
just letting us know everything else that she has going on and how to get a hold of her for readings.
It'll
So
be fun.
it is going to be fun.
So join us next week
Yes.
and have a thank you for joining us and have a great rest of your week. Thank you to all of the troops that may be tuning in, and please be safe.
Yes.
And thank you for your service.
Yep. And thank you to Cryptovania TV
Absolutely.
for hosting our show. Jason Trost, awesome producer. Thank you for pulling this all together and helping us get this out there. And we'll see you all around the metaphysical table next week.
Absolutely. Good night, everyone.
Night.